G'day everyone, welcome back to Fly Fish Live. Today we head back to Men's Series 1, game number 2, and this one's between Peter Driver from Ireland and Markus Ersbjors from Sweden. Now this one was an absolute nail biter. It came down to the last few seconds, but before we head to that game, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, give us a follow on our new Twitch TV account, and also it takes a lot to get this show to air. So we have a Patreon page. If you want to help out, head on over to our Patreon page, and we thank you in advance. Now on social media, you'll find us on Facebook and Instagram at Fishcoin, and also we have a hashtag competition going. So with all your fish pictures, hashtag FlyFishLive, and you can find yourself a lucky winner of a prize coming into Men's Series 2, which is not far away. All right, so let's head down to Markus Ersbjors down over in Sweden, down by the river. We start off by asking him how the conditions are.
I think it's pretty good water level, and right now it's not raining, although it's cloudy. I think the conditions is pretty good.
Nice. Nice. Well, good luck today. I'll let you head off and get into position, and we'll jump over and have a quick chat to Peter. And good luck. How are you, Peter?
Not too bad, Josh. And yourself?
Yeah, good, mate. How's the conditions in Ireland?
Absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Bit overcast. River's just dropping nicely. We had a couple of floods come through there over the last couple of weeks, but conditions look good and fairly promising. So happy enough.
All right. Are you a bit nervous?
It's naturally so. Before any match, you're going to have a little bit of nerves, but that's what you want. You know, that's the excitement of it. It's moments before a match. You know, all that crap is going through your head, and how you can start and stuff like that. So yeah, but that's good.
Right. Well, awesome. I'll let you go and get ready, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
And
best of luck, Marcus.
See you at the end of it. We've got our special guest on today. Is Tom Jarman from Australia. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad, Josh. Thanks for having me. I tell you what, I'm so jealous looking at these rivers right now. Being in the Southern Hemisphere, and you can't really fish in Australia at the moment. It looks awesome. It's absolutely awesome.
Special guest.
Are you coming over next year to Finland?
I'm in the team to fish the Worlds in Finland. The Australian team's picked. We're planning to if it happens.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if it hopefully it all goes ahead. The situation in Australia is pretty weird at the moment with COVID.
Let's just find out a little bit about yourself. Those that don't know you, how many years have you been representing Australia?
So I've been in the Australian World Team for the last. Yeah, they're a little loud. So I fished the last 4 World Championships. My first one for Australia was in 2016 in Colorado, then fished Slovakia, then fished the Worlds in Italy, and then Tasmania last year.
When does the season kick off over there in Australia, like the proper season?
Yeah, so the Tasmanian season opens the first Saturday in August, so that's pretty soon. That's the river season. In Australia, there's always some lakes you can fish out of the season. So, like in Victoria, where I live in Melbourne, same for New South Wales, the inland fisheries there, the lakes, you can fish them all season round, but our rivers close. Tasmania, more lakes close, but it's all open rivers and lakes. In Victoria in September, Victoria and New South Wales in September, and Tassie in August. And hopefully people can pick up a few things, learn. They're pretty much all me fishing, but then I'm trying to kind of explain what's happening and why I'm doing what, and hopefully people can watch it and learn a bit, get a little bit enthused and want to do it themselves.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, the same with this thing here. It's awesome. It's all about seeing new things, learning. It's just so cool.
Cool. And if people want to get in touch with you to go fishing with you for a guided session, what's the best way to do it?
Yeah, so they can contact me via Instagram at Jarman Fishing, or easiest is probably go to my website, which is www.tomjarmanfishing.com.
Yep.
And they'll see links to all the writing and the works I've done in the past, some media work, all my videos are up there, and an explanation of how the clinics work and what the guiding options are if you want to get guided by me in Victoria, or you want to get guided by me in Tasmania through another business down there.
Okay, nice. Nice. So we're not far away from start time. There's 2 minutes, guys.
2 minutes, Pete.
How was it, Tom? How was it to represent Australia when it was a home country hosting down there in Tassie last Worlds?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a bit different. It was a little bit more nerve-wracking, probably. Obviously, when you know the waters so well and you guide on them and you compete on them all the time, you kind of, you're almost inclined to overanalyze it. But it was cool having all the support and everyone around there. It was a really unique, I mean, it kind of shows Tasmania and Australian weather, how wild it is over here, what happened there. But, I mean, yeah, it was a really cool Worlds to be. Every Worlds is great to fish in. You learn so much every time. All the people are great. Everyone's awesome. But it didn't fish as expected. The weather really kind of changed the fishing in Tassie. It was more streamer fishing on the lakes. The river fishing, the dries were still awesome. So the rivers kind of fished how we expected them to. But the lakes were, it didn't show off how good the lake fishing can be, which was a shame. But the quality of the fish there were so many good fish caught in terrible conditions. You can kind of imagine how good it would be in good conditions.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I mean, you're a Tassie boy yourself. You should know.
Yeah, I love fishing in Tassie, mate. I miss it sometimes being over here in Finland. There are some really good waters here in Finland too. You guys are going to love it when you come over.
So keen.
Have you been to Finland?
No, I haven't. So I've only, I managed to fish Norway and Denmark and have missed Sweden and Finland. So hopefully, next year, Finland and Sweden in the same trip. Very cool.
Can the controllers hear me?
Yeah.
We're about to start, so I'll count down from 5, and then I'll blow the whistle, and then competitors, away you go. So, are you ready? So we'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go.
The hour has started.
All right.
Yeah. Which river from the start, Tom? Which river do you think you would like to prefer to fish by just looking at the screen?
I mean, I think this is going to be unfair on. Oh no, he's in the tree early. Is he? This is going to be unfair on David, but broken water always looks more appealing. Like it looks more appealing because you've got it's faster. There's more currents. There's more happening. So Markus's river there in Sweden, it's got pockets. It looks like it'll hold heaps of small fish. Like you look at all the pockets, you're thinking behind every one of those rocks in the soft bits, there's going to be a fish there waiting. I mean, David is in Northern Ireland. So, he's in Ireland, not Northern Ireland, I don't think it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's on the Nore River, he said to us before, and those Irish rivers are known for having lots and lots of small wild brown trout or medium-sized wild brown trout. So, I mean, I would be probably, I fished against both these guys in the Worlds, so I haven't seen them fish before, but I mean, I would think if David can find some water there, which is stacked up with little browns, he'll catch them very quickly, and that'll be really good. But I mean, it just looks more interesting in Markus's water. So I'm not sure if are there grayling in his river there?
In Markus's river, I believe there are.
Yes, it's grayling here.
Yes.
Grayling? Okay, yeah.
Grayling and trout.
Yeah, okay. Do your grayling, do they school up in that section of river there? Does he have some water where the grayling really pot up?
No, not so much. They usually are a few in each spot.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, that'll make it more interesting because it means that Markus won't be able to walk into a glide or a tail out and have a heap of small grayling and go whack, whack, whack and catch lots. So he's probably going to have to work through more of his water. So, yeah.
Gonna-
David's River looks a lot deeper than I thought it would be.
yeah. He's up to his
I'm not
waist
sure.
there.
I mean, the controllers can probably help us, but it looks like, I mean, Marcus is nymphing through all that stuff. Like, we'd call it, for people who aren't in the scene, you'd call it probably European nymphing or something like that. But I can't see what David's doing, whether he's nymph below dry. The flatter water, he could fish dries in it maybe, or if he's just nymphing it a little bit deeper. I mean, he's out in waist deep water there.
I suppose once they find a fish, would
He's
your
nymphing.
be to hang in that one spot where you found one fish?
Yeah, I mean, you're always inclined when you put that there. When you find the fish, I mean, you obviously want to sit on them and see if you can catch a couple in that spot. But I mean, more for both of them, they're probably going to look for like a certain type of water to find them in. And once they find them in a certain like position of the river or depth or pace of the current, they're really going to settle into that and go, okay, you know, those deep, like for Marcus there, he might go, wow, these deeper pockets are holding better fish, or they're holding the fish, whereas the really skinny ones aren't, or vice versa. So, I mean, I would expect him to fish through that stuff quite quickly and try and work out, you know, what sort of water they're in on his river there. I mean, David's water is vastly different.
Yeah.
It's Peter, not David.
Oh, Peter, sorry. Peter Driver, yeah. There you go. I mean, that run just has to hold fish. You look at that.
Yeah. The controllers are doing a great job.
Fish on.
Fish on over with Peter.
Come on.
Did he drop it, did he?
Yeah.
I didn't see him net it, yep. Unlucky. We've had an early touch. It's quite watching this level of fishing is it's quite exciting to see like how they go about it and how many fish they can come across. It's, as I'm not a professional myself, but I get a lot of tips from these guys, and I just wish I could catch as many fish as what they can in an hour. I'll be lucky to catch 6 in a day.
What are our I like the bounce back and forth between our controllers. What are the controller names? So Peter, Peter's controller?
Mark, Peter's cousin.
Hey, nice.
Mark Driver. He'll be competing on Sunday.
Hey, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm not
learning all the things not to do today.
You're fishing the same river, Mark?
Yeah, I'll be further downstream though.
Yeah, okay. Does it slow up, get a bit bigger and stuff lower down, or is it pretty much uniform the whole way down that river?
It gets a little bit wider than below and then kind of narrows again, similar to what's here at the moment. So.
Yeah. Okay, here's one for you. Here's one for you, Mark, since we've got you. Would you have picked this piece of water that Peter's walked onto?
Definitely, yeah. It would have been one of our kind of top choices that we've kind of been working on. So, here and there's 2 other spots, but that we've kind of done our homework on. So,
yeah, cool. And what do you like this river? I mean, it looks a bit breezy there, but like, do you get your browns up eating dries down there? Like, is it a good dry fly water? Like Australia, it's almost one of our primary techniques in the skinny water for the browns.
Yeah, definitely in the evenings. There's some serious evening rises. Even here this morning, there was plenty of fish rising further back in the flats below Peter. So.
Nice. And who is Mark? Who do we have? Marcus's controller.
My name is Andreas. I'm Marcus' brother.
Yeah, good.
We used to fish a lot together, and last year we were both part of the Swedish national team.
Nice.
Good.
So
we
were supposed. Sorry.
Were you in Tasmania?
No, we were in Montenegro for the European Championships.
Oh, very good.
But we both were supposed to go to Finland this year.
Okay.
We'll go next year instead.
Well, yeah, so we'll see you next year.
Yeah.
If anyone's got any questions out there for any of the guys.
Fish on here. Fish for Marcus.
Yep, got that one. Marcus is on the board.
Andreas, was that a grayling or a brown he caught there?
It was a brown trout.
Okay.
Brown trout?
Small trout. This stream, it holds a lot of small trouts.
Yeah. And Mark, was Peter's fish a small brown that he dropped as well?
Yeah, it was a small brown, and he dropped another one as well. So 2 fish he's dropped. So
2 fish. Well, this 1 hour game puts a little bit more pressure on, I think, than if you feel like you've got a bit more time. You might get a little bit nervous and drop more fish than usual, maybe.
Yeah. Well, and Josh, I was going to say, as you said that, the 1 hour pressure, so you're rushing to find them, so you may not be fishing it as thoroughly as you want to be, but you're always going to lose it when you're fishing at small fish. You're always going to lose a percentage of them. Like, they just fall off, they're light, they pitter patter around. You can't do much about it. So, like, they're going to lose. Like, I mean, fishing this way, you'd expect them to probably lose at least a third of the fish they hook. Like, you would expect them to fall off, small wild browns. What's happening down there? Looks like it's raining over at Marcus's river.
Yes.
Yeah, we have some rain.
Yep.
So don't underestimate, for the people watching, don't underestimate when you're trying a European nymph, how painful. You wouldn't think that the rain's going to affect your fishing that much, but it just makes everything slightly more difficult. Like, your cast, the line doesn't shoot through, it sticks in the rod. It's all just a little bit more awkward. So, I mean, the rain is just an absolute killer at times. And the wind as well. The wind for both of them puts you out of contact with your flies.
Yep. So I've got
Fish
one
on.
guy here, Robbie.
Fish here.
Fish on
Yes.
in Sweden.
Grayling in Sweden.
Grayling in Sweden.
Really?
Number 2. That's a good start from Marcus. We've got one guy here who said, Robbie, I hope I pronounced his name right, Robbie Fellon. He can't see, he's only got the volume at the moment, but it's 2 to Marcus and 0 to Peter at the moment.
Looks like, I mean, Andreas, you may be able to tell me, it looks like Marcus is trying to fish quite quickly. He looks like he's fishing downstream a bit. He might be swinging his flies a bit, just trying to cover some water quickly.
Yeah, I think that's a good insight.
I mean, especially when you're in shallow water, what you can often find, it was the case in the Worlds in Slovakia when we were fishing at Grayling over there. Like, you fish your small flies, you can really find them at times by swinging across and down. It's a quicker way to fish through your water than fishing upstream. So you find if you can do that, it looks like he's doing a bit of that, casting across, swing through the pockets.
Fish for Peter.
Fish for Peter. 2-1.
Very nice. As we're saying about Marcus though in the Grayling, very good to swing across through the pockets. You're not always going to catch them swinging, but you're generally going to elicit a response. Like, the fish are going to come up, have a look at it. You might get a pluck and you might go, okay, you know, there's a couple of fish there or there's some fish there, and then you can reposition, get below them and dead drift up to them.
The way Marcus is fishing there in Sweden, is that how you would approach that water?
Oh, you know, it's hard having never fished that water before, but I know that doesn't look too dissimilar to the beat I had in Slovakia at the Worlds on the Orava River. And I actually won that. That was the 5th session. I won that session with 49 grayling and a huge chub thrown in there. But pretty much what I did, I started at the top of the beat. And I mean, Australia, we're really lucky. We've got Martin Droz as a coach. He's fantastic and his insights are great. But started at the top of the beat and I pretty much swung my nymphs down as quickly as I could, just trying find the pockets of fish. So, and when I found them, they were more schooled up than they looked like they would be in Marcus's river here. But swing down through them, and then when you found a few, like you'd pretty much pepper that school and fish them from different angles. And I think I found like 2 main schools of fish there, 2 areas that held them, and I kind of went back between the 2 of them. So yeah, downstream in shallow water, down across, good way to find them. You're going to lose a lot of fish doing it though. I mean, you look at Peter's River, and Mark, you might be able to give some insight because you know the river. But I mean, it looks like the water he's in, it looks like he's banking on that he knows they're there. Like he's got a really nice run, and he looks like he's just trying to, you know, get the right drifts and fish through it well because he just knows they're there.
Yeah.
Mark's is really covering water trying to find them.
Yeah. Kind of, it's more of a zone here, so he has kind of zoned out in terms of where he wants to fish it. Like, so he's in terms of, because it's kind of one run at the moment until he moves on upriver a bit more, but it's kind of a focused kind of area here, so he's kind of broken down into 3 or 4 parts to focus on. So
so like super different styles. And I mean, even though they're on rivers, I mean, this is all really good and fun. Even though they're on different rivers, way apart, like on different continents. Like this is what happens in a normal fly fishing comp on a river. You're not fishing the same piece of water, so it's going to be different wherever you are. So different water means you're going to fish it differently. It's kind of cool seeing, 2 different contrasting styles. Peter fishing it a lot more slower, more methodically. Marcus really trying to cover that water and find some fish quickly.
Yeah, the river here will be like where Peter's fishing at the moment. It's complete kind of gravel bed. There wouldn't be too many boulders compared to maybe some beats down river. Marcus's river will be very much like our home river further up in Ireland, where we would originally be, where we grew up. A lot more pocket fishing and boulder fishing. So fish on.
Nice. Fish on in Ireland again.
Fish for Peter.
Fish for Peter's. Score is 2-2.
It's to go, Josh, to go back to what Mark was just telling us about Peter's River, how it's a gravelly river, fine gravel, not many boulders, means that the water that the fish are going to be in is not as obvious as what Marcus has. Marcus has got like these boulders, he's got seams, and he's got like spots where he's probably going to know in that river they're going to be there, they're going to be there, they're going to be there, and he's going to work through it. Peter's really got a large section of river, and there are probably depressions in there that he may know where they are, or he may be able to see them, but there'll be little, like, it's all quite uniform. So he's just got to fish it very consistently well, very methodically, make sure he doesn't miss a drift, and just, work through it. And then he'll just keep chipping away at these fish through that water there.
So Marcus can work through his section a lot faster than just hitting the small pools and then keep moving on.
He'd have more water to kind of hone in on. So Peter, the fish can kind of move back and forward in those grooves and depressions, as you were saying. So
and I mean, Peter's water, it looks like, I don't know how deep it is from here, it looks like it has a bit more depth to it as well. So it may, if he finds them and catches them, he might be able to refish it quite well, and the fish will hold up, and he can fish it through once, then rest it, come back, and I mean, we've only got 45 minutes left, but he could refish some of that water, whereas like it's a big risk. Like you wouldn't expect Marcus to want to refish much water, because he would be expecting the fish will be in his hot spot. He'll fish the seam coming off behind the rock, and it'll be bang, there'll be one there. If not, he can move on. And I mean, if he really thought there was one there, he might keep fishing at that one spot, change flies, change angles. But I mean, for him, he's probably just looking to, catch these easy fish dotted through the pocket water. Whereas Peter there's just going to, methodically work through his zone there and catch them.
Yeah. How long would you stay?
Fish on.
Fish on.
Fish.
Fish for Sweden, Marcus. I'll get back to that question. How long or how many casts would you, in that water that Marcus is on, each little pocket, how many casts would you throw in there? Do you have a number, or is it just your feeling?
You got to feel it. Anglers just feel it. And depending on the day and if the fish are aggressive, and they really want to feed, you're going to know in 1 or 2 casts because they're going to be prepared to move to the fly. But if they're really shut down, if it's cold, the pocket's a little bit deeper, or the drift is quite complex and the fish doesn't want to move that far, you're going to have to give it quite a lot of drifts because your fly. Oh, there we go. Peter's got one on, has he?
Peter's on.
No, come off.
Oh, dropped it.
That's just going to happen for him. But yeah, like you got to feel it. I mean, if that pocket has a bit more depth, you might think I need to get more casts, make sure I get the right drift. But it depends how, aggressive his fish are. If they want it, he'll be able to go a couple of casts in each pocket and move on. But if they're a bit shut down, he may need to put 10 drifts through that sort of area, because if that fish is here and he doesn't want to move, like he won't move a foot to a fly, he only wants to move that far. You got to be incredibly precise with your drifts, getting it in the right zone. And you're not going to be able to do that with 1 or 2 casts. You're going to need to give it a good number of casts.
Yeah. Great little tip for anyone that's starting to get into competitive fly fishing or just fly fishing in general, trying to look for fish. It's great piece of advice, that one.
I mean, we all got into I got into comp fishing, and a lot of the friends I have in Australia that comp fish, we all got into it to learn. And then the competitiveness kind of takes off. So, I mean, it's a great avenue for just learning, because these are the things you pick up that make your recreational fishing more enjoyable and give you more direction.
And it keeps fish
on.
Fish on.
Fish for Peter.
Fish for Peter. Score is 3-all.
3-all. 3-all.
3-all. What sort of numbers are you thinking, Tom, that these guys might catch? Any idea?
It's hard to say not knowing the beats. I'm looking at where Peter is, and Mark, Peter's controller, who also competes and knows the river well, may have a better idea. But
fish.
Oh,
Fish on.
Mark's has got one.
Fish here.
He's got it.
Yep, fish is in. 4-3. It's another close one. Like I've had a lot of people think that it's going to be a blowout here and there, and mate, you need one of these.
I'm trying to lose weight in isolation, not put on weight, and you're making me drink beer here.
I'll have to try and send you one of these for you.
Big calorie-free beer.
It's not even beer, is it?
No.
I don't know, Mark, you may be able to tell me, but I'm looking at Peter's water there, and he's got, it looks like the gravel bar drops in, and he hooked that last fish or caught that last fish on the seam, the soft seam, this side of the run. Yeah. And I would expect, Josh, as he pushes up, he might catch a couple of small, quick ones right where it drops in. I don't know the river, but I'd be expecting in that shallow stuff at the top where it just drops in, there'd be a couple of quick ones for him maybe. So, I mean, both of these, the way these rivers are going to fish, you're going to have, it'll go bang, 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 and then nothing, and then bang, bang, bang. That's just how it is.
So you're talking about just that faster water, just up from Peter.
Yeah. When you're looking at Peter's water, you can see in the left of screen, up there in Ireland, you've got the nice pocket. It's got flat water, then it drops down, and then there's that nice little shallow riffle. I mean, if you're in Australia and you had to go one place to catch yourself a quick, small 20-centimetre brown, I'd be racing right there. Yeah. I don't know how it goes over there in Ireland, but yeah, it's. I mean, he'll. Yeah, okay, there you go. There will be, says Mark.
Now, a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people, like, the main theory is fishing upstream, correct?
Well, that's a hard one.
Yeah. That's just what I've been growing up and taught. But then when I hit Finland, I went salmon fishing up north, and fishing for them downstream. That just blew my mind. I didn't really understand.
Yeah, I reckon, like, we can talk about that, like, because we're both Australians, Josh, and our rivers aren't that big. Like, our biggest river would be like the Derwent in Tasmania, or the Goulburn in Victoria, or the Tumut in New South Wales. So they're not big compared to some of these rivers. And when you're looking to cover water, like if you have large sections of water and you're not sure where the fish are, fishing downstream is a lot quicker than fishing upstream. So yeah, like, I mean, it's far more common, I think, in other places in the world, like where you are now, than it was for us where we grew up here. So I think that's quite ingrained in us. But fly fishermen are we're all taught, and it's rightly so, to get a good drift, get a good dead drift, get the cast up, get the fly drifting down naturally. And that's right to a point. And that's what you're aiming for when you start out. But as you get more experience, you kind of learn that there are more presentations than just the dead drift. Like, there are ways to elicit a take and get a fish to eat it, whether it's the fly
Fish
swinging
on.
across, swinging
Fish.
up,
Fish on in Sweden.
and he's got him.
Nice.
You can see, and we'll come back to that in a sec, Josh, but you'll see, I mean, these guys, they're fishing at small fish for the most part.
Yep. Was that a fish?
Is that a fish?
Fish for Peter.
Fish for Peter, yep.
That just
5-4.
supports
5-4.
that just supports what we were saying. I mean, these guys are fishing, the fish aren't big, and you don't want to muck around with the fish and have it dance around in the water, pitter patter. When you get a small fish, if you can get him into the net quickly, just get it straight into the net. There's less risk of it falling off. He's got another one.
Fish for Peter.
Fish for Peter.
Yeah, you get those fish in quickly. One, the fish is less likely to come off. Two, it's also better for the fish. It's better you get the fish in quicker, you release them quicker, and there's less harm on the fish. So that's really good as well. But you kind of want to, treat every fish on their merit. So when these guys, you were hearing fish on, and the fish is coming to the net straight away, and that's great. And they're small fish, so they're trying to get them in quickly. But when one of them does hook a good fish, it'll be fish on, and then he will be fighting it, and like they'll take their time. So yeah, super interesting. But Peter there, he's coming into that. He looks like he's coming into that shallower, faster stuff where his drifts are going to be a little bit quicker coming through. So he'll probably be able to hit the fish faster now. He's up towards the head of the run. And I mean, the score shows that he's come from 5-3 down in like 2 fish and a couple of casts.
Would you expect, usually that's where the fish are sitting, sort of at where the faster running water is, just in that area, in a pool, or?
Time of year dependent, and water temperature dependent, and oxygen levels dependent. I can give you, I can't comment on those, but I'll give you an Australian analogy. In the middle of summer, our fish are up in that fast, turbulent, bubbly water. It's more oxygenated, probably a little bit cooler. But when it's really cold and early and late season, the fish are more down the back half of the runs. So it's almost like, so if you look at where Peter's fishing there, in our context here, and as is the case in a lot of places around the world, when the river's cold, when the fish are shut down, they're more in the back half of the run. And then throughout the season, they kind of spread their way up. And then in the middle of summer, they're in that shallow, fast, oxygenated stuff at the head of the run, like that really quick stuff we can see up there for Peter. Then as it gets colder, the fish almost drop back in the run and sit more in like the deeper, slower parts of it. Yeah. But there's exception. There's always an exception. There's always fish, there's one that completely ruins the rule.
It's unpredictable, isn't it? Fishing, it
so is. So yeah, here's one. I mean, I don't know what you reckon there, Mark. Do you reckon Peter's going to fish this run? It's 33 minutes in. Will he finish that run? And is there water above him there that looks good? The flat water, is that good?
Fish in Sweden.
Fish here.
Yeah, fish in Sweden.
Do you reckon, Mark, will he finish that run and get up into the flat water above it, or will he drop down and refish?
He's on probably the upper zone on this run here, so there's another glide up above, which he has kind of worked out as well, so he'll spend another short amount of time here and then work his way up. So these 2 other areas kind of picked out above. So.
Fish in Sweden. You might be onto a school of grayling.
Yeah, Andreas, are they browns or are they grayling over there where he is at the moment?
think most browns, I think. But it's a mix. But usually it's a little bit more trouts in this stream.
Yeah. I mean, that's
At least,
like...
But in some parts of this river, the water gets calmer and it's usually a little bit more graylings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of trouts in these rocky parts.
I mean, it's like, as you know, Josh, in Tassie, the world's in Tassie, and just knowing Tassie itself, you go to a river like the Meander and you'll fish through pocket after pocket of beautiful water, and there's nothing there, nothing in that pocket. And it was relieving, actually, for me, watching some of the great teams like the Czechs, the Spanish, the French on the highlight reels fish through beautiful water and not catch them, because it made me feel better. But you fish through pocket of no fish, and then you'll come to a pocket that looks the same as the other three, and you'll go bang, bang, and you get two, just like Markus did. And that's just kind of how it is. So it's just that discipline of fishing it consistently well.
Yeah.
That is the key.
But, what's your favourite destination, Tom? Like, out of all the places you've fished, do you have a favourite destination you've fished?
Yeah, I got two. I'll give you two, because one's like a warm water species, one's cold. I reckon the coolest place I fished, fly fished, was Africa for tiger fish.
Nice.
So yeah, not what would probably be expected, but in Zimbabwe on Lake Kariba, and on the Zambezi there, and that was super cool, because tiger fish are like a trout. They're like a trout with teeth, and they're like bright red, orange, and yellow, and they eat like a trout, and they're just amazing. They're such a cool fish, and to fish for them in a lake and a river, if you like wet fly fishing and streamer fishing, and just big aggressive fish, tiger fish is the way to go.
Nice.
And the other one though, I want to hear yours after this, your favourite. So you can think about that while I'm saying it. The other is Japan. I went, some clients took me to Takayama Valley, and we fished for Yamame and Yowana. So dry fly fishing and nymph fishing in Japan for like those amazing small fish is really cool. And those rivers there, what's super cool, they have like big mayfly hatches, yellow mayfly, but the river's freezing because there's snow all around it. But that's the area where the thermal hot springs are. So all the hot springs are like entering the river. So you get like warm patches, cold patches, and it's just a really cool place to fish.
Nice. These guys, they're halfway now, so you've got 30 more minutes. Yeah,
Yours.
My favourite so far is last year I had the chance to go. I was lucky enough to go with Santeri from the Finnish fly fishing team. Took me up around Norway, fishing for salmon, and the rivers were like really narrow, so a bit like Tassie rivers, and you just see these salmon jumping out of there that are 10, 15 kilos, and you're just like, whoa. And hooked a couple on the dries. They got off, but I had one fish
like on your skaters, like the bombers and stuff on the surface.
Yeah, and I only had a 5-6 weight.
That would be awesome.
I was a bit on the light side, but I wasn't expecting the size of fish that we're going for. So, but that to me was probably a really big highlight.
It's interesting you say that, because my dad always said his favourite fishing was Russia on the Kola Peninsula for salmon. When we lived in the UK, he's just like, salmon fishing is amazing. Yeah, it's one thing I haven't done actually.
Yeah, we're right in the sort of up towards Norway, Russia sort of area. So I can't remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you get a chance to fish north for salmon, definitely highly recommend it.
Well, I need it after the Worlds in Finland, I want to catch a pike. So if there's anywhere around Finland near you where there's pike, I know there's quite a lot in Sweden in the Laplands, but
mate,
pike would be very cool.
This place is full of pike. Let me know when you're coming.
Hey Andreas.
Yes.
Many fly changes for Markus there as he's fishing, or is he just kind of fishing the same single fly or the same two nymphs and just working.
I think he's going with the same two mostly. If he doesn't get stuck and they lose them. But
Yeah.
I think he's going with the same. Some patterns he usually use and have success with.
Yeah. And same Mark over there in Ireland. Is Peter really just work? Oh, I saw that strike.
Good fish. Fish
Is that a
in the
better
net.
fish there?
Yeah,
Fish on.
about pound and a quarter maybe.
Nice. He got that one there, Josh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did
Did you get that, Josh?
Yep, got that one.
Cool.
Is Mark, is Peter
Yeah.
pretty much just working through the same couple of flies, just trying to find those fish rather than changing up for each fish?
Yeah, no, he made one change, and he has adapted. He made two changes, one fly change and the other weight change. So
Yeah.
different size beads. So another fish.
Another
Oh,
fish.
what one is that? Fish in the net.
Yep, fish in the net.
7-all.
Scores a level.
And Josh, like we were saying earlier, we're seeing that like as Peter's getting up that run into that faster sort of like the head of his run, he's really started to kind of accelerate.
Yeah. So
As where Marcus is just chipping away, isn't he? Like through the pockets.
yeah, like there was a little gap there, wasn't there, when they didn't really have any touch.
Fish on.
Fish on.
Yeah.
Fish
Fish in the
on.
net.
Fish
Fish.
on. Peter's just hit the lead.
Fish in the net in Sweden.
Sweden.
Marcus
Fish
just got one as well.
Yep. That's 8-all.
Whoa. I mean, are those fish of Peter's, they looked like they were slightly better fish, those two, Mark, were they?
Yeah, they're holding up in the faster water here. I don't know if you can see the big pocket on the far side, just over here. There's a big boulder, and he got those last three fish underneath that. So.
Yeah. Josh, has there been a double header landed yet?
No. Not yet.
I mean, looking at Marcus's screen there, I'm not sure, Andreas, if you can say that's right, but it looks like he's changed. Hang on, sorry.
Yeah, he's changed.
Peter's
Right, oh.
He's powering across that river.
It's these guys work so hard when they wade through the rivers. It's quite interesting to watch.
I mean, it's all like, Josh, it's all time management. Like any of that time when you're tangled or you're stuffing around or, you're in the wrong wood with the wrong gear, that's time you're not, putting in. I mean, if you get that extra 1 or 2 casts in, that can make they're both on 8 fish now. Like that little bit of work that Peter did there to really power through.
Fish
He's
on.
just hooked one there for change.
I know. Yeah, fish in the net.
Fish in Ireland. Corey Scott's just come on and said good numbers. He's probably watching, getting an idea for his next match.
I feel for Corey as a fellow Southern Hemispherian that we don't it's cold. It's cold for us down here now. So I mean Corey may battle in that his numbers. I don't know how the Waihow or Waimakariri is fishing, but it'd be hard to compete against some of the big numbers that you could catch here.
Yeah.
Fish.
Fish on. Sweden.
Fish in the net.
Fish
That
in
was
the
Peter.
Peter.
See, that rod change he made, Mark, did he just change to like a different nymphing rod? Different set of flies or a single nymph? Or?
Same set of flies, same nymphing rod. So.
I was saying before actually, Josh, and this is directed to you, Andreas, is Marcus over on that far side mainly because that has more depth?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit deeper there.
Because I've just been, Josh, looking at that, wondering why he's stayed over there. But then when you look at the screen here, it's very shallow. It may only be this sort of depth, but he's probably gluing to that water with a little bit more depth, which is why he stayed over that far side. Whereas early, he was, on our side there.
I did speak to him yesterday, and he said last time he was at this river, it was 20 centimetres higher. So this is one of his favourite rivers. But then the water level has come right down, so he thought it was going to be quite tough. But he's still pulling fairly good numbers out, I think.
I mean, yeah, Marcus is just chipping away, going fish, as we're, Peter's getting those flurries. Like he had that pocket on the far side there near the trees where I think he caught two or three very quickly. So.
Bit of sun coming out now. It's warming things up.
Will that generally activate the fish more when the sun comes out, Tom?
It depends. The temperatures will be slowly increasing in the water, so the activity might increase as well with the fish. So.
Yeah.
In terms of their feeding. So.
Looks windy over there, Mark.
Yeah, there's a slight breeze starting to pick up, but it's not too bad. It's not affecting the leader all that much. So.
Yeah, so he's not missing fish or finding it tough with the line control at the moment.
He's missed, I think I've counted about 8 so far, but nothing to do with the wind. It's just obviously just
small fish.
Didn't hook them right. So
yeah, and that just like Josh and for everyone there, that just happens. Small fish in current, like we imagine when we have our nymphs, we imagine that line cuts in a dead straight line between our leader, our indicator, and the fly, but really it's all squiggly and there is slack in there no matter how good our control is, if we want to get a good drift with the right fly weight. So there's always variables like that you can't control.
Oh, we have a fish.
Yeah.
Fish.
Fish on.
Fish in the net.
Yep. You would have thought that he knew there was a fish there because he's been sitting there for a long time.
Been in that water for ages, hasn't he?
Yeah.
That's one other thing, Josh. It's amazing how all it takes could be a fish. in one of those pockets. Oh, hang on.
Fishing an effort, Peter.
Yep.
20 minutes left, Pete.
Yeah, 20 minutes to go.
Yeah. I wonder what Peter's going to do now. He's nearly at the top of his run, and he's got 20 minutes. He could probably refish maybe, or push on. But he didn't really hit many fish early in the run.
Well,
like he really found his fish, up in that fast water where he is now. So,
what would you?
if he's got that,
fish lower in the runs, but
he did hit some lower in the run.
He, as I said, like up until now, he's missed 9 fish, and he dropped 6, I think. So
yeah,
he had 6 on that he dropped, like so. But he did anticipate fish down further in the run where he started, but they just weren't there. So today,
yeah,
compared to practice.
Tom,
looks like he's pushed.
What would you do? What would your thought be if you got to that position? You got 20 minutes left. Would you go back or keep going up?
No, I don't think he hit enough fish to go back. I would power through the shallow water, or the faster water. The faster water, he's going to get quicker drifts through. It's lower down in the run, his flies are going to go in, and the drifts are just painfully slow at times. So I'd probably, he hit a few fish very quickly in that pocket, and he's got some fast water there. I'd probably push up into that faster stuff, and you'll be able to cover more water quickly in the fast water. Whereas if you're in slow water, it's going to take a lot longer. And if from what Mark said, he hit some fish low, but he didn't really land them, and he caught them up high in the run. So all things equal, I'd go to the higher up in the run, a little bit easier, quicker drifts, more casts, and he landed more in that type of water. So just go for it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go around the tree here, Josh.
Yep. Looks like Marcus has just started moving again. I've got a question for you, Tom. Back in the Worlds in Tassie, were you guys, we all know what Tassie weather can be like.
Yeah.
Were you guys prepared for something in case the weather absolutely went zonkers?
As in the venues or the anglers?
As in you guys as competitors, were you prepared if the weather turned and went completely like it did?
Not really. I mean, it doesn't, everyone's like, oh, that's Tassie weather. But it doesn't do that often and get that feral down there. Like, that was just,
That was
yeah.
a special time.
Yeah, and not like 5 days of it. Was expecting a day or two of big wind, but not 5 in a row. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, as far as the fishing, I mean, when it got that windy and that rough and the water got dirty, it was never going to be about mayfly and nymph fishing like we'd hoped it would be, and even dries on some of the lakes like Penstock. So, I mean, yeah, it became kind of a pull-off. But as far as the weather, I mean, we all had like the possum gloves and every team had bought them up and you had like 2 pairs of them. So you could swap them halfway through the session when they got cold and wet. And I know a lot of the Finnish boys, they bought like latex gloves, and the South Africans, so they put latex gloves on so they didn't get wet and cold. Then they put the possum gloves over the top to keep them warm. And like when you wear gloves and fish, it ruins your feel and it makes it harder. But it was so cold, everyone was like, I'm not fishing in bare hands. It's too cold for that.
Was it the Mongolians or Kiribati that never fished out of a boat or something like that?
Yeah. The Kiribati, they're all the bonefish guides from Christmas Island.
Fish on,
Yeah.
fish on in Sweden.
Fish in the net.
Fish in the net in Sweden. It's becoming another close one. 10-11. 11 to Peter, 10 to Marcus.
Another miss.
Fish on. Fish again.
Fish in the net again. That was 2 real quick ones from.
Now it's in the net.
Yep, got him.
He's in a lovely little pocket there. He's got that nice, you can see that water really funneling in there.
Yeah. Are they grayling there, Andreas?
I think these were trouts both.
Okay.
One more. Yes, one here. Fish.
Fish again. 3 quick ones.
Angle up.
12-11.
Hard to know whose position you'd rather be in right now.
Robbie Fellon, he's asked, is Marcus fishing for grayling? Can you target grayling and trout? Will they take the same or?
Pretty much eat the same nymphs, like pheasant tails, tag nymphs, like worms. Yeah, gamaroos, like the gamaroos shrimp. Like you're probably not gonna change your like flies. It's normally the water that they hold in that's more different than the flies that they eat. Yeah. I mean, it looks like that river. It's just a big mix. In pocket water, you're just fishing the primary water, and whatever's behind the rock or in that seam or channel, you're trying to catch.
Yeah.
But small for grayling. Typically, you're not going to fish massive nymphs. You're going to be fishing small.
Yeah. And is it an advantage if you find a little school of grayling? It's an advantage numbers.
Yeah, if you find a school of them, I mean, like
Fish.
Fish in the net.
Fish for Sweden. 13-11.
I mean, if you find a school of fish, like if you find a little patch of them, there can be 15 sitting in that one tail app or one piece of water.
Fish on.
So
Fish on in Ireland.
Fish in the net.
Fish in the net. This is coming down to the wire again.
nice scenery in Ireland there.
Oh, it's great.
It's beautiful.
Looks like it's from a tea commercial or something.
Great to be able to see a couple of different rivers at the same time from different countries.
Yeah. And just to see how, like yeah, just completely different. It's good. It's good to see like completely different countries, like different species as well.
Fish on.
And there
Fish
you
on.
go.
Fuck.
Fish on. Fish. Fish in the net.
Yep. Did
Did he lose that, Mark?
Yeah, he lost.
Fish here.
yeah,
Small fish.
Fish.
yeah, we got Marcus.
Yeah.
Did you get
Marcus.
Yeah.
ours?
Yeah, we've got you.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, like different parts of the world, but very similar, styles of fishing in the right water type. It's like everything you see out there online, or if you read, it transcends countries. Like it's, trout to a degree, trout and water types are water types. And yeah, you can kind of, if you have a good range of flies and good approach, you can catch them really wherever you go.
Yep.
And there's obviously those little idiosyncrasies to each river and each nation, and size of the fish and
Fish
how
on.
they like to eat.
Fish.
Yeah.
Fish on.
Fish in the net.
Fish in the net for Peter.
Fish for Peter.
14-13. Marcus up by 1.
Are you allowed to pick a side, Josh? Support it. You're completely impartial.
What are you talking about? To support?
Yeah, and when you watch this.
If you want to pick a side, go for it.
No. I'm just interested to see if people would be like watching, going, really, rooting for Marcus or Peter.
We've got a bit of a mix happening at the moment. We had some guesses come into who was going to win. It was quite even on the sides who thought who was going to win. And I know the Irish.
Fish on. Fish on. Good fish. Oh yeah. No. Dropped him.
Dropped him.
That's in it.
That would be very painful for Peter right now, because as soon as you lose a couple in a row, the next one you get, the first thing you think is, oh no, like I can't lose this fish, especially at one fish down.
Does that tend to make you do something different?
I'd like to say no, because you treat each fish on their own merit, and each fish is an individual, and you fight each fish on their merit. But sometimes you do go, bugger this, I want to get it in, and you put a bit too much pressure on it, and then you pull the hooks, or you can't. It's very hard to explain how in like big competitions, internationals, how those little things get to you sometimes.
Yeah.
And you put a bit too much pressure, or you rush that fish, or you're a bit too easy on him, then he goes around a stick and you think, I'm an idiot.
Fish on.
Fish on.
Fish in the net.
Fish in the net for Ireland.
For Peter. 10 minutes left. 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
It's draw. 10 minutes left. You're drawn. 14-14.
It's a beautiful accent, the Irish accent.
Can you understand it a lot?
I caught half of that.
I could speak Gaelic and make it tougher.
So just to let the viewers know, if it ends up being a draw, the first person who landed a fish, they will win the game.
Who was that? Was that Marcus?
I actually think it might have been Marcus.
We should probably know that.
Yeah, but what happens is these are preliminary scores. So what we'll do at the end of the game, we go back, review the game, and then we'll post the final scores. So at this stage, it's 14-all, and I think it was Marcus that caught the first one.
Yeah, it was Marcus.
Yeah.
I mean, that puts a bit of pressure on, Peter, because now Peter can't.
Fish on.
There you go.
Fish in the net.
Fish in the net. Yep.
Yep.
Did he pop that and it came like way beside him?
Yep.
I've seen some of these when I was in Italy to come and watch the Worlds over there and do a bit of a filming. One guy, I just saw him just cast and go like this, and the net was ready already. Fish on in Sweden.
Fish in the net.
Fish in the net. 15-all.
That looks lovely water where Marcus is now, behind that rock. It's got some bigger boulders.
Yep.
Like, looks more interesting than where he was like 10 minutes ago.
Fish on by Peter. I know, caught.
Fish on?
Nah, he just hooked
No.
the rock, I think.
No.
Burning through that water.
Fish on.
Fish on?
Fish.
Fish for Sweden.
Oh.
It's in the net.
Yep. There's 7 minutes and 30 seconds to go.
These last ones have been grayling. I think
Okay.
it looks like that.
Yeah. They're all Arctic grayling in Sweden, aren't they? You don't have any European grayling.
No.
All Arctic?
One more. No, I lost it.
Lost it, yep.
So Peter really needs to catch 2 here
Basically.
in the next. He's got to get 2 in 7 minutes here.
Fish on.
Fish on?
Fish in the net.
Yep, fish in the net.
Oh, I love small brown trout.
Fish. Fish on.
Fish on in Sweden.
I think he lost it.
Oh.
It came off.
Yeah, it's off. There's still 16 holes. We have
Is that a nice run coming in below the bridge there, Mark?
Yeah.
You'd think Peter's got a couple in this, surely.
I think the time's going to be the issue.
You know, Josh, every like session in the world I've looked back on where I wasn't happy with how I fished, time management is always the thing where you look back on. You're like, should have gone there then, or I should have gone there.
Huh?
It's like, well, as
There's about 6
important
minutes
as, like,
left.
everything else.
You're drawing at the moment, but Marcus got the first fish. Marcus got the first fish. Marcus got the first fish. You're drawing 16-16. 6 minutes to go.
This is where how to keep you cool and just keep doing what you're doing, I suppose. When you know there's just over 5 minutes to go.
And this is where you also start regretting the fish you lost back there, because you're like, oh, if I didn't lose that, I'd be home.
Yeah. Yeah. Craig Dawson, how you going, mate? Craig says to say good day, Tom.
Hey, Craig.
This is
Fish on.
Fish on.
No, come on.
No,
He
come
came
on.
off. I heard him swear, I think.
Yeah. I think there was a little beep there somewhere.
Yeah.
There's last 5 minutes, guys.
I think it was Marcus just hooked under a rock there. It's got a bit of depth where he is now, that water where Marcus is. He's like in knee-deep water.
Do you think?
Yeah,
He's fishing
a
in
little bit deeper.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a shelf running diagonally to the far side there. This is where, this is almost what I'd be doing, Josh. If I started to panic a little at the end of the session, you're trying to find a quick, easy fish. You think, I'm just going to start swinging downstream. I'm going to head down and just cover water really quickly and hit those pockets. Like he's turned around and he's now just going back down. So he's obviously going to be going across, trying to drag those flies through some of those pockets maybe. It's just a good way to get a quick, easy one.
This is coming. I wasn't expecting it to be this close again. Last 4 minutes. Do you think Peter's going to get another one, Tom?
He's got to, surely. He's got 3 minutes. That's, I don't know how fast the water is, but he's got he should have another 20 drifts in him, maybe. When you're coming into that run, there's going to be a sweet spot. He's got a little V or something he's eyeing off a seam where he's thinking, if I get to that, if I get to that pocket, I get that drift right, and it goes down, he's going to catch him.
Just so the viewers know, if someone catches a fish and has a fish on and the buzzer's gone, the time's over, they get 3 minutes to land that fish. It's a long time.
I think they only need 10 seconds with the size of these fish.
Yeah. Nice work, Mark.
Yeah.
16. Men du leder på att du fick först. Men en till skulle vara bra.
I think you just said there's 2 minutes 40 left.
How is your Finnish? And your Swedish and your Danish?
2 minutes, 30 seconds left.
A little bit, mate. I know
Still a draw.
some swear words, and that's about it.
They're all quite similar, those languages, aren't they?
Finnish, completely different.
Oh, okay.
The others like Sweden, Norway, Danish, they're very similar.
One of my exes was, she was Danish, and she just told me to learn Norwegian because it's easier.
Drop the fish.
Drop the fish. That's
Fish on.
fish on.
Fish in the net.
Fish for Peter. With 1 minute.
Yeah. 1 minute 50 left. Take your time.
Man, he's got I reckon Peter's got another one in him there, where he's sitting up in that like run coming in beneath the bridge.
Oh, just loads the whole way across.
G'day, Garth Jackson. Garth says to say g'day.
Hey, Garth.
And Michael Burgess, how are you, mate? Nice commentary there, Tom.
What's that?
Nice commentary.
2 lucky Australians not in a state in COVID lockdown.
Yeah.
Fish.
Fish on.
That come off?
Yeah.
Yeah. Last minute.
Sista minuten.
Last minute,
En
Peter.
minut.
Last minute.
This is really.
You're still in the lead.
Marcus needs 1 here to steal this. 1 fish to win this one.
Marcus can get one last 40 seconds, and Peter doesn't. He will take it, I think. We'll have to go back and review it, but
Surely. I still reckon Peter's got another fish in him.
How's the time, Josh?
we got 17
Fish on.
seconds. Fish on.
Fish on.
Uh-huh.
Ah, I lost it.
Dropped it. 10 seconds to go.
10 seconds.
That is killer for Marcus.
Fish on.
Over.
Fish on.
Game
Over.
over. Game over. The whistle
Over.
blew before they hooked up.
No, we had it.
Oh, this one will
17-16.
Okay. What will happen?
Lucas had one on at the whistle.
What we will
The
do.
whistle blew and then call fish, but
Det är
I
slut,
heard.
Lucas. Slut.
Okay.
We have to recheck this one because he had it at the final moment.
blew the whistle.
What
Marcus calls fish.
will happen
But,
is we will take this
Josh
down
said no,
to
but they're going to re-look at it.
judges, and Sweden saying, Marcus saying that they call one on the whistle. So
Slut.
this is going to be a very interesting one. I'll just turn the
Yeah,
time.
that was very close.
That was very
Yeah,
close.
good actor.
You're going to look back at the footage, Josh, and have a scroll through?
So what we
I
do,
know, yeah.
there's a couple of judges, and we're going to look back through the footage once we have a quick chat to the competitors, and then we will post the final score up on Ultimate Event Fishing Hunting on Facebook page. And this one, there's a couple of spots there that we know that we have to look at. So one of them being that last one, did the whistle go off, or did he have a fish on? That's going to come down to the judges that one.
Need to see it on a big screen.
Yeah, so we'll watch this on a bigger screen, and yeah, we'll see if we can grab one of the competitors.
Yeah, Peter's just coming up out of the bank here if you want it.
We have Markus here as well.
Yeah. But let's head to Markus first. How are you, mate?
How's it going, buddy?
I think he's
in
Markus.
Right?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, we got Peter, have we? We got Peter online.
Yeah.
Oh, how are you, mate? Did we saw you drop a lot of fish? Was it pretty nervous or?
Yeah, a little bit nervous at the start, but they were just coming very short with, like, just really weren't committing. That's competition fishing, you know, a bit of nerves, a bit of over eagerness, a few things like that. You know, that's the nature. You're always going to drop fish, no matter how much practice you put in. And there's always going to be them ones when you're tight lining and kind of, trying to whack them out, move as fast as you can, cover them with water you can. You're always going to drop fish. That's just tournament fishing, you know.
Yeah.
You got to take them on the chain and move on.
How many did you think you missed?
Oh, couldn't even count. A lot of fish there. I knew there was a lot of fish in this particular beat. But it's just one of those things like.
But there is a bit of dispute on the last whistle. Markus controller seems to think they had a fish on when I blew the whistle. So that's going to be reviewed. So this is a really tight one. But at the moment it's 17-16. But we will let people know the final score.
Absolutely, and whatever the judge's decision is the judge's decision. So that's good.
Yours all trout?
Yeah, pretty trout, yeah. All brown trout, yeah.
All brown trout. Nice one. Well, let's jump over to Markus. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, a little disappointed actually. I lost so many and I had lots of strikes, but couldn't get them on the hook.
Yeah. Do you have any idea how many you might have missed?
Maybe as many as I got. Around that, maybe.
Okay.
A lot of small trout just nagging the flyer.
Yeah. Did you catch many grayling?
5 or 6 maybe. Yeah. Mostly trout.
Yeah.
But the last part where I ended up, the last minute, there it was a lot of grayling, I think.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Well, like as we said, there's a bit of dispute on the last whistle, and maybe a little bit along the way. So we're going to have a go over the game. The judges will go over the game, and we'll post the final result up maybe 1 hour's time. As soon as we know the final result and it's clear that's the final result, we'll get that up on the Ultimate Adventure Fishing and Hunting Facebook page. But
Okay. Yeah.
I'd like to say it was awesome watching you guys fish and the way you work the waters, and thanks so much for competing and coming on and getting involved.
No problem, Josh. Thanks a million for hosting it. It's a great event, a bit of crack, and yeah, really good. Really enjoyed the whole experience.
Thank you too. It was really fun competing.
Yeah.
And good to have these kind of competitions.
Yeah.
These times.
We're getting some great feedback, and yeah, it's going really well. And what's the plan for the rest of the day? You going to keep fishing?
Yeah, I think I'll try maybe a couple more hours here.
Yeah, nice. What
Go
about
back to your grayling up there.
Excuse me?
I said go back to that school of grayling you found at the end there.
Yeah, I think the last throw, I didn't quite hear you when you were whistling. So I threw the nymphs in another time, and then I lost the fly on one. So that will be
What about you?
fun.
Peter?
I got some flies to tie, so a few orders in. Go home and sit at the desk all day now tying flies.
Okay, so there's a bit of a break from work for you.
Absolutely, yeah. Enjoyable. Yeah.
Thanks again, competitors. Thanks again for
Well done, guys. Well done. Good job.
We'll let you know the final score as soon as possible. We want to say a big thank you to Tom Jarman from Australia, and it's awesome that you could come on, mate. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in Finland next year.
Too easy, dude. Thanks for having me.
What an absolute ripper. Peter coming through with the goods. Marcus just missing out, hooking that fish just after the buzzer. Unfortunately, that fish does not count. So the final score, 17 to Peter and 16 to Marcus. Now, Game 3 of Men's Series 1 will be coming around next week. So stay tuned for that one. Follow us on our socials. And Men's Series 2 is just around the corner. It's going to be exciting. And until then, from all of us at Fly Fish Live, we'll see you then.